What Happened This Week podcast. Just two best friends chatting in the trailer about all the things you are thinking about. Because you never know with Kim and Tricia.
Straight out of the trailer. Wow, what a weekend.
Yes.
Well, first of all, happy birthday to you. Yay. I do the rest, but I really can't sing. Yeah. So you're 41 today?
41 today.
How does it feel? Do you feel older?
No, I feel just as old as I did yesterday.
It's kind of like, because of this whole corona thing, I feel like your days are so, like, it's like it doesn't, not say that it doesn't matter, but when I turned 41 in May, that's what I was like, what up? It's like, I almost forgot what day it was.
Yeah, it just kind of like merges together, I guess. I mean, I guess on the, like, because it has been going on for so long, like in May, like we're still in the mix of like a lockdown.
Right.
Couldn't do anything, so at least I got out of the lockdown and we got to celebrate.
We did. So
Pretty
Jason,
sure we all celebrated. We're gonna end up with COVID.
I know. I know. Actually, I had to look. I looked at the photo this morning, and then we had 12 people.
Yeah.
So we were outside of that 10. That's why we had to move chairs. So,
yes.
So starting out, so Friday night. Well, first of all, let's see. Going back, Jason sent we were in a group text, like Monday or Tuesday, to set up for your dinner. So 1000 North. Which how was dinner?
Oh, it's amazing.
Is it Micheal Jordan or
Michael
Tiger
Jordan.
Foot?
Michael owns that one.
Tiger Woods.
Yeah, no, Tiger Woods owns the Woods.
Okay.
And that's in Harbor Place.
Okay, so it's Micheal Jordan.
Oh, so good. Really good.
Like, James and I were talking about this yesterday. What size was this porterhouse? Because it was for the whole table?
It was like 40 ounces or something.
Holy mackerel. Like, how big was it, like, comparison to on the table?
Yeah, I mean, it was probably like this big. Like,
I was well, for James and I, we would have to have the size of the table.
It was really good. It worked out really well. I think that, like, sometimes you go out to eat and, like, everyone's getting an entree and, like, you're like, what if you don't love it? You just spent like $45, or if it's too much, and you taking home your entree to go from like Micheal Jordan's place. Like it's kind of tacky,
Hashtag
right?
Not cool, yeah.
So, and by the time you just get appetizers and drinks and whatever, and so Durkee was like, why don't we just get that? And I was like, that's perfect. And then because at those types of restaurants, everything's a la carte anyway.
Right.
So we were like, all right, perfect. Then it's like family style dinner. And it worked out really well.
Nice.
It was really good. I highly recommend it.
Good, definitely.
And you know it's expensive, but everywhere is expensive. I say this all the time. So, I mean, we go to Hurricanes and takeout is $50 for
easily.
Us. You know, it doesn't, and that's not even with a drink.
Right. So if you're gonna do it, go and get a nice meal out of it.
Yeah, and it may have. I mean, like the porterhouse was $150.
Okay.
But it fed 6 people.
Not bad.
No.
Not bad at all.
And then we did 2 sides of Brussels sprouts and 2 sides of mashed potatoes.
Okay.
And we had oysters, a dozen oysters, tuna tartare. I mean, we each had at least 2 cocktails at dinner, and the bill was like $500.
Okay.
So, I mean, I know 500. Like, whoa, it's a lot of money, but there's 6 people, so
right.
it's like $78 a person. That's not bad at all.
No, not at all. No.
And so actually, it's pretty cheap. I think it's like, so with tip, you're probably talking like just $100 a person. I don't think that's bad.
No, not at all. Especially when you're paying for the environment, you're paying for the food,
and they're
the experience.
Country Club casual, which I really like because you'll go someplace here in town and like spend easily. I mean, Jason and I will go to dinner here in town. Like if it's like, you know, a birthday dinner here in town, maybe $150. Like it'll cost us $175 maybe. So we're still at the $200 mark.
Right.
And we walked in shorts and flip flops. So this was nice, like, because it made you present yourself for dinner.
Right.
And service was unbelievable.
On point.
Oh my gosh, unbelievable.
Mm-hmm. Well, definitely, maybe one day I'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
I have to go to Bell's and get James some clothes though. All our clothes are in storage. I don't think even like shoes. Like he's got flip flops or boots, work boots. So, but then we met you at Square Grouper afterwards. So Shannon and I and Stuart and Mike and James met you at the Square Grouper afterwards for an after party. So you didn't know about that.
No.
So we got kicked out of there.
I know. That's never happened.
We shut it down.
We might be old, but we still got this.
We still got it. It was like 10:30. I'm like, they're shutting it down.
I think with COVID, they have to close early.
Well, they had the 2 bars, so we sat by the 1 bar, and I sat. Well, first of all, getting tables there is impossible.
I know.
So we got a table, and I was hoping that 1 bar, the closest one, would open. Then I found out as we sat down, they had just shut it down, so the 1 bar was only still operational. So I was like, 10:30. You're probably right though with the whole COVID because and I never got out of my seat. I just kept sending James to the bar because you had to wear your mask every time you got
I
up.
never went to the bar either.
No,
so.
and there were stiff drinks too.
Yeah. Well, I was drinking beer. So.
Yeah, I was like, oh my, I don't know. I lost count. I don't know.
Did you see that lady that hit on my husband?
No.
So, people came over. They know us.
Do I know them?
Yeah, no, you don't know them. Okay. I mean, they're like, so anyway, so they came over. It's 2 women came over. One of them, her dad helped us pour the slab last week. Great friends, like with Jason's family.
I think I remember people coming up.
Right, okay. And then another woman was with her. She's an older woman, like old enough to be Jason's mother. And she's like flirty. And I'm laughing, like, to me, I'm like, whatever, you know. I was like, okay. I'm just turned around and she's like, so when are you going to marry me?
She said that to Jason?
And Jason's like, well, that's my wife right there. And she's like, oh, okay. Haha, I used to be like his teacher. And I'm like, it was just so weird to me, right? Like, and I was like, there was no, like, issue of, like, I was like, right. Oh my God, I was, you know, it's like, thought it was funny, but.
You'd be like, baby, you still got it.
Exactly.
But unfortunately, she's 60.
Exactly. And so then he went to the bar and he came back. He said that he had saw them again. I was like, oh, you guys got a table, whatever. She's like, and she said to him, well, you know, I know you're married, but I'm your second choice.
Yikes. She's still going for the kill.
Yes. And so Jason said, because she has a boyfriend and Jason knows who it is, and so he's like, no, your boyfriend would be my second choice or something like that. Like, as a reminder, like, what's wrong with you? Like, it's one thing to be funny, like, ha ha ha, but like, she kept it going after, like,
wow.
Isn't that funny?
She's trying to get it after it. That's funny. I give her an A for credit for effort. I don't know. What the heck?
That's so weird, right?
That's so funny. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, if that happened to James, I would just be like, baby, go over there and go sit at the table, work it a little bit. Let's see if we can get out of the deal. Wow, unbelievable. I don't remember. Did you see the people got engaged?
Yes.
I have it on video.
That was so weird. He comes over, he's like, I'm about to propose. Can you guys be involved? I'm like, you just gave it up. Like, what's wrong with you? I'm about to propose. Hold on.
Well, then I was trying to get on camera and I didn't, so I made him do it again.
Yeah.
And then I said, well, okay, why? Like, I was a commentator. I was like, so why are you marrying her? And he, like, gave this whole thing.
Aww.
And she said, like, one thing.
Aww.
And I'm like, I'm a notary. I can marry you now. I'm going to go home a stamp. I don't know what the rules are in Palm Beach County either.
I mean, like, it's very sweet, but could you imagine if James was like, I mean, y'all are on the porch together. That's going to happen for you, right? Imagine James being like, hey, everybody, hold on. I'm about to propose to her. And then you're sitting there like, okay, well, that was the romance is kind of gone.
I feel like she knew it was coming. Like, she was, I think it was really awkward because he was super excited, but she was like not.
Oh,
they had a family already together. They had a few babies together. I have it on video.
Okay.
Because I was like, why do you want to marry her? So that was just like, so I got kicked out early, shut down like 10:30.
Yes.
Then there was a proposal, right? And then we had the after party at the camper.
Exactly.
And James was so excited the fact that we had visitors. Like, he just didn't think that it was like going to be the party spot. Yeah.
Wait, you have more visitors at the camper. Like, they never been to your house.
No, I know. I was like, hey, and it was like funny how I think Jason was parked in the empty lot next door, and
and Mike rolled up in
the grass,
like he was
like a search warrant or something. And I'm like,
I saw that too, like, because I was like, oh, their neighbors moved out.
Right.
You had told me last week they had moved out, so just park here.
Yeah, because no one's rolling in at 11 o'clock at night. I don't
put their camper there.
Yeah.
If they are, we'll move, whatever. Right. But then I see them pull up, and it did like Mike was ready to serve a warrant. I was like, oh my gosh. Kim's gonna get thrown out of the trailer park.
The funny thing is, the lady, like, 3 lots, I don't think I told you this yet, but 3 lots away got arrested at there was an incident at the shower house. Oh, she probably was having flashbacks, seeing the cops coming up, and I was like, we're supposed to be quiet.
Yes.
I remember going, like, okay, this is not quiet. I don't even care. It was like, it was a good time. It really was. Yeah, and then I think you guys left about 1. I don't know.
We got home. Yeah, we are home about 1 o'clock, 1:10.
Okay.
So we must have left like 1:45 because it's a little bit of a drive.
I'm surprised James stayed in the game that long. I was very impressed with him.
Yeah.
He actually quit drinking, I think, once we got home because he knew he had to work the next day. But he still hung. I was like, look at you down in there passed out. But I felt like crap the next day.
Aww.
I can get to bed at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I don't know. It was like I think it's the liquor, then drinking the beer.
Being up late. We're too old for that.
I know.
Just being up late.
I know. I had so many things planned for yesterday too. I had
all of these. They can wait.
I had all these to-dos on my list.
They can wait.
I know. Well, luckily I got to wash my clothes on Friday at Kelly's house because Bella peed in Taylor's bed again.
Oh,
she doesn't know about it. I got to go bring her feather down comforter to the laundromat and have them clean it again. So I got to wash some clothes. But yeah, yesterday was just a blur.
That's too
like
funny.
I just don't. It sucked. I can't do that.
No.
You know.
No.
You just like you said, like maybe, 3 or 4 times a year.
Yes, that's usually where I try to keep it. I let loose that. But it just so happened My birthday, whatever.
I know. We had a reason to celebrate, a reason to get, and it wasn't like shitty drunk. It wasn't anything like that. It was just a good time.
Yeah.
It was just, it wasn't acting a fool or it was just having a good time. It was just late. I think that's what it was, a combination of being late. And James and I had not eaten anything. Because I don't know if they have anything at the Square Grouper.
They do. I think that's one reason why they're open. They can be open because they're not just a bar. It's probably why they had to close at like 10:30 was because that's when they stopped serving
That's
food.
right. Because I think they have like hot dogs or something, right? Like chips or something.
They have like a whole menu now. They used to only have like munchies like that, but they have like a whole menu now.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Because we went there for Mother's Day a couple years ago.
Okay.
They have like chicken sandwiches, things like that now.
Oh, okay. Well, so my latest thing is happening is we're getting kicked out of the RV park.
Uh-oh. Not for the party?
No.
After the after party?
No, I might have a notice on my door when I get home. Actually, I had all the chairs. I had to, like, get rid of the evidence yesterday. That was the only thing I did do. I picked up the chairs, because I all of a sudden, remember how you're like, where all these chairs come from?
Yes.
That in my storage unit underneath the camper. I'm like, I was prepared for this.
Hoping somebody came over.
And I have a few more in there, by the way, so we can make a real party. But last weekend, we were talking about moving lots to Lot 9.
Right.
Okay? So, James had said, if you see the lot lord, talk to him about it. So after I left on Sunday here, I ran into the lot lord, taking out the trash. And I said to him, would it be possible if we can move to Lot 9? And he said, well, when's your reservation till? And I'm like, it's indefinite, because the conversation we had was until we find a house. He's like, no, what's your reservation? I'm like, well, I don't want to. And then I thought, okay, maybe I didn't understand properly. So then I was like, well, my reservation is I don't want to move out. Like, what's your reservation? I don't want to move out until I find a home that I can afford. And that's not what he was looking for.
Right.
He's like, reservation. I'm like, he's like, well, if you want an extension, you need to text me ASAP because I have a stack this high if this place gets booked up. And I'm like, first of all, this is not a 5-star resort, okay? People are knocking down the door. I know this because somebody just got arrested like 3 nights ago here, but whatever. And I was like, geez, I was really taken back by it. He was like, I can't guarantee. And then he said, well, Lot 9, I always save for the summer or for the wintertime because there's a band that comes in and they put lights up in the trees. And I said to him, I said, well, it's been sitting vacant for 3 weeks. And I said, and I just went through here and there's 5 empty lots. And I said, so when you say booked, I'm not quite sure what that means. He goes, well, they're coming in. I said, well, in the meantime, they've been, one of them has been, nobody's been there for 2 weeks.
Right.
Like, don't try to make out like this is like some sought after, like, place that you got to like reserve 9 months in advance. So then I really freaked out. So I went home and I was like, Taylor, I walked in and Taylor's like, what? I'm like, I think we just got kicked out. Like, I had the weirdest conversation. Like, I'm flustered at this point. I searched through my email. Sure enough, I reserved it till October 30th because there had to be an end date and you can only do it for a 3-month span.
So how does that people for 7 years do it?
Right. I know. I'm like, do you think they went in like, okay, we're going to, I don't even think the calendar went that far when they probably did the 7 years.
Well, I mean, like every few months they got to like extend out their reservation.
Well, yeah, that's what it seems like, where you just give them that, I mean, I thought we had that verbal expectation. I mean, heck, I had to text him to charge me. it was so lackadaisy, like I didn't realize we went by the rules.
End date?
So I texted him and he said, well, I can give you till November 24th, which is 2 days before Thanksgiving. So now we're like scrambling. We've talked through the week. I've kind of like, first I went, oh my God, we are going to be homeless. We're not going to be homeless.
If you leave before that, is it like a lease? Like you don't have to pay it out, right?
No, I don't have to pay it out. No, because we're all verbal, right? I mean, well, I could leave after April. In writing on an email. I guess in a text I do too. But we're going to stay there as long as possible. We're going to stay to that 24th mark. But we did go look at the Roadrunner RV Resort, which is way better, classier than Florida Days. And I'm going to tell you what, when I move out of Florida Days,
you're writing a review.
I'm writing a review, and I found out who owns the place. So I'm going to not, because the lot lord thinks he owns the place. He's the manager. He doesn't own the place. And initially, somebody told me they thought maybe somebody locally in Hope Sound owned it, but they sold it. They sold that place for $1 million. I mean, that place is probably a gold mine, I can imagine. So, but anyways, I'm going to write him a nasty review. But anyway, so we're going to probably move to this Roadrunner. So,
cool.
I mean, it's, it's change of scenery. It's got a pool. It's got a cafe. It's got a, it's definitely like not somewhere you can ride your bike to the beach. No. Because you ride 95 and it's kind of dangerous road, so I wouldn't want to do that.
Right. And, I don't think you can have the after party at your new place.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be an after party. No, we'll just have to. I don't think we'll be going to everyone else's because Fort Pierce is pretty far.
Yeah, you have to spend the night.
Exactly.
You have to Uber home.
You have to Uber home.
Or just spend the night.
Exactly. All right, so I have your birthday present.
My birthday present.
You have to open it up. Done. I had it sent here, and I have to say, hold on, disclaimer. So I had it sent. Amazon is so great. It's like next day, right? So it was like crickets. I didn't hear anything, and I'm like, I know I sent her a present, and she opening it, and I was kind of like, I had talked to you twice on the phone. I'm like, she didn't say nothing.
About my
Ungrateful. I was like, I text Jason. I'm like, hey, because it was an Amazon post, and he had said someone we got like 3 packages coming today. And I'm like, can you take one out of the stack and make sure she gets it? So
I wasn't allowed to open anything that came, so I had to go to a pile. And so Jason had gotten it, and he opened it, and he was like, oh, hey, one of those in there is from Prescott. And I said, well, then I'll just wait to open it.
Okay. All right, so, dun.
Let me get the card out first.
Okay.
That's how they come.
That's how they come. It's so generic.
You got to figure out
so
which
personal.
One. Hold on, you got to figure out which one's the card.
There's 2 gifts in there.
What's the gift receipt?
Are they wrapped?
Enjoy your gift. Hold on. Enjoy your gift. It all goes downhill from here. I am the older one, but yes, you are the one wearing Dr. Schols first. Hope you feel like you're walking on air. Love you from Kim. I thought they put your last name, Kim Prescott.
I have to do that. Change that.
Well, no, I guess I would know which Kim it was coming from.
That's true. That's true.
Another piece of paper. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, not that one. That's the generic one.
My arthritis? Let's see. Oh boy, superior all-day comfort that keeps you feeling energized.
So here's the thing. These are insults for your shoes. I was gonna buy you Dr. Schols shoes.
Uh-huh.
Have you looked at the selection for Dr. Schols shoes?
Oh, they're rock cute, are they?
No.
Okay.
And I was like, well, they didn't have flip-flops. They had like boots, but I was like, no, I just couldn't see you doing that. They just didn't look. They had, what are those boat shoes? The what do they call those? Sperry's. They had something similar to that. I was like, all right, but I'm like, what color? I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to go and buy you a pair of shoes and you're not going to like them because they're not sexy and attractive. So, like, just put your soles in there.
Exactly.
Or your inserts.
Thank you.
And you can walk on air.
Boy.
And I think they fit 6 to size 8, 9, or 10.
6 to 10, yeah.
So you can cut them.
Yes.
Cut them down.
I'm a 7.
You're a 7. I heard. Yeah, I had to text you. What size are you? He said 7. So
Awesome, thank you. I'm excited.
Yes, and then your other thing, that's just a little something extra.
A little something to buy me something.
To buy your soul shoes with.
To buy my shoes.
To buy your shoes, because I'm not really quite sure.
I do love how they put the wrapping in the wrapping.
Yes. So there was something else that Amazon does now, and I don't know if you know this.
Aw, I didn't know. That's cute.
Yeah, they do that where it does the pop-up now.
Yeah.
But they even do something even cooler. Guess what they do now?
What?
You can actually, it's only available through e-card, so I'd have to either text it to you, or I can mail it to you, or email it to you. But a photo, I could have put our photo.
Aww.
And I actually went that route. I was like, oh my gosh, so I found this really funny photo of you and I was like, I'm going to send this to her in the mail. But then I went and it said, give me your email address, and I realized it's an e-card.
Gotcha.
And I wanted it to come through the mail.
Right.
But Amazon's getting quite smart with their options, right?
And then you brought me flowers and balloons today.
I did.
And my sweet princess came outside.
Said, Kimmy, good job. I'm like, I am so glad I got her approval. I said, Jason, poor Jason boy. I mean, he's a great, excellent gift giver, but let's just say he makes the wrong move or just does something really great and she thinks it's really wrong. He's screwed.
Exactly.
She's such a sassy girl. Oh my God, I can't wait. Well, I remember having a conversation. I had to, because when had a couple cocktails flowing and I had to go back and look at my photos. I had some good photos. I had like, what do I have as people getting engaged? And then I had a text to myself. I remember now Shannon and I having a conversation about what to get Reagan for
her birthday.
And I was like, I got to get her something better
than
Shannon.
You told me you already got, you're like, I got this. And then you're like, uh-huh. And I was like, what is it? You're like, I'm not telling you. Wait till you so I got to make a note so I don't forget.
I texted to myself. I looked at myself like, oh, okay, now I know. I hope I did. I looked at Amazon though. I didn't order it though because I really need to think it through. But I was over shooting with. I'm like, I gotta get her something better. I gotta get her I gotta get her a pony. Just for jokes, just all in fun.
Yeah, no, I can't. Her birthday's come. I'm so excited for her because she's really enjoying this birthday thing.
I know, she loves it.
Like we had Mike and Abby's birthday like a couple weeks ago. And we're like, oh, we're going to go on Mike's birthday. And she would, like, every time she'd go to sleep and wake up, nap time, bedtime, you go birthday party? You go birthday party? And it was like, no, a couple more sleeps. And so, like, now she's like, Mommy's birthday, and then her birthday's coming. She's so excited.
You should totally pretend, like, to keep her occupied, do pretend birthday parties. Go to the dollar store, buy, like, different themes. And, like, today we're going to have a Dora birthday party. Exactly. And just let her, like, sing to herself. If that's what she's into,
oh, my God.
that's
I get
hilarious.
up this morning, and her and Grandpa are playing, and she's like, good morning, Mommy, happy birthday. She comes running. Like,
you could be happy about them now at 3, but you're not happy once you hit 21.
Exactly.
But if that gives her joy, that's great.
So, birthday's over. So what, well, no, today's my birthday, but hopefully we're going to go to lunch. But, how's house hunting going for you?
So we went house hunting after yesterday night, after 5. Shannon sent us a few places. Well, they both were really cute. One was off Becker. They wanted only $239. There's no pool. It backs up to a bird sanctuary. And
at $239, you put in a $30,000 pool. You're still only at $269.
That's it. And she said it's priced so low because they want a bidding war. Now, it's your basic house. Like, it's probably like a spec house.
Yeah.
You know, it's 1,500 square feet, so a little bit bigger than what we had before. But the price is right, you know. But then we went up to that one in Midway. Beautiful home. I mean, it's really beautiful. I think, you know, just got to sit on it a little bit and just think about that one. So then we went to this Indrio Road, which is almost
to
Vero Beach. It had just popped up on the market yesterday. Shannon did not send me this one. It was one I found on my own, which if I would have just waited for Shannon, I would have known better. So I was like, oh, Indrio Road. It was on a half acre. I'm like, cool, perfect. Girl, first of all, it's right off Indrio Road, which is a pretty busy road. Yeah. Now, granted, when we went to towards, I guess you would say west, it wasn't as busy.
Right.
As soon as we drive by it, there's this huge compound. It's white fenced in, and it says, we support the police, but no men allowed. No entry. Private property. I mean, it was a compound. Security cameras everywhere, and it's right next door to this house.
Oh my God.
I'm like, I am not, this is like fear thy neighbor.
Polygamy or something going on.
Like, that's fear thy neighbor stuff right there.
Yeah.
I mean, you have one party and you piss the wrong person off, and they're going to be at your door. I was like, I had never seen that. I mean, you know, as you get into the country, and it's like the wild, wild west. And I was like, wow, I was taken back by that. I was like, keep going. There's no James. So he pulls in. He's like, it doesn't look too bad. I'm like, I'm tired of you. Because the one house that we, that we went and looked at this other house, and James, I sent him first because I didn't have time to get up there. And so he said, oh yeah, it's definitely, and it didn't have a backyard. He's like, but I think it's definitely something we can do. Beautiful house, 5-bedroom, 3-bath, huge house. So I go and look at it. Well, he tells me that the neighbor at the end is a collector. Okay, he said collector. It was a dead end because the house was 3 or 4 houses away from the dead end. And I said, would you drive down the end? He goes, yeah, that's where the collector is. I said, it's not a collector. That's a junker. There is a difference. Then he goes, did the 2 dogs run you off? I'm like, no, I didn't see 2 dogs.
This was a red flag to you?
Hello, this wasn't red flags. Like, you should have said, oh, never mind. So, anyways, we will go together, or I will go and scope it out for myself, because I really like to make sure that I just drive, and I don't want to waste Shannon's time and say, hey, let's go do this and let's go like I like to look. You know, I'll even depending on how the house sits, I'll go the next street over, like what's behind it, what's going on,
exactly.
what am I going to look at, what am I going to hear. And then we did actually, again, this wasn't one Shannon gave me, it was almost in Vero Beach. It had been in the market for 40 days, so I was like, all right, let's go check it out. Girl, we pulled up. It's on a quarter lot. Beautiful house. 2,700 square feet. Now I know why it's been sitting for 40 days. There must be a house. There must have been 15 cars parked next door. They must all stay together. So that's the first thing you see as you're coming down. So I'm sure that's why people are like, yeah. No. There's a wooded lot between the two, but no. So, but anyways, yeah. So that's house hunting. But I will say, on a side note, something happened really crazy last night. So we were hungry. We were going to go to Moonshriners in Fort Pierce for barbecue, but we had gotten so far out north of Fort Pierce that we just decided to stop at this little Italian restaurant. It's right off of 95 and Indrio Road. And, it was Indrio Road, yeah. And it's Nina's. And a cute little Italian restaurant. So there was maybe 4 people in there. It's 8 o'clock at night, it's late. And there was this gentleman walked in the door. And he had a book bag on his hand, he was a black gentleman. And he sat down at the table next to us. We were in a booth. And he sat down at the table, and the waitress came over to him and said, I'm sorry, sir, you can't sit there because of social distancing. He said, I don't have any money. He's like, I've been walking, and I just need a drink. And she's like, okay, sir, just go over there and sit. So we heard that. Now, James had gotten this big Sicilian pizza.
Right.
Because, we're going to go big because we're not in this, home. And so I said, James, we should give him some pizza because he's hungry, obviously. So we got an extra plate, and James brought him some pizza. Meanwhile, I think they were in the back making him some pasta or something. And the owner came up to us and said, oh my God, thank you so much. He's like, people like that, you just don't do that. So then before we left, we gave him money. And he was just down on his luck. And James went over there and he was filling out job applications. was just like, he didn't look like he was, I don't want to classify, but like a drug head. Like he looked.
Well, there's different
down on his
classes
luck.
of like homelessness. So there's like people who choose to be homeless,
right?
They live that life is what I'm saying. Not like choose to be homeless, but they live the life of like a wanderer,
right.
And they go from different. They know the circuit, right? There's people who are mentally ill,
right,
and they're homeless. There's people who are drug addicts and they're homeless, and there's people who just
down their luck.
Just a sequence of events, and just this is where I ended up. Like this is not at all what I anticipated, you know. And those people need the most help,
right? Because that's exactly like he had a book out. Like he was, he wasn't rude. He was like, he had a book. Like he just seemed like he was down on his luck. And so we left. We gave him money, and he came out and he said, "I just want to thank you so much." He's like, I've been walking for 2 days. Breaks my heart thinking about it. I've been walking for 2 days. He's like, nobody gives me the time of day. He's like, I don't know what happens to humanity. He's like, I'm not some, slum person. He had a mask and everything. Like, he gets it, And he goes, I just want to thank you guys so much. James was like, you're welcome. And we get in the truck. James goes, I think that was Jesus. I was like, that was not Jesus. But you did a good thing. And I am proud that we did that, because that's the kind of stuff that, you have to do for people. You don't, there was a couple other people, but nobody else acknowledged it. And I want to know that if something like that were to happen to me or someone of my loved one, that somebody would acknowledge that and do that for that
kind.
person. Yeah, it was
good.
good deed. We did a good deed. So I felt good. So it's kind of like, all right.
Yeah,
we did the right thing.
You did.
It's kind of like, what would you do? Like that show.
What would you do?
What would you do? Because you never know when you're being set up either. And just be a good person.
Exactly.
There's nothing wrong with that. So that was our evening last night.
Aww.
And then we came home, and
that's nice. Yeah, we went to the house. We went out to the property. Got our blocks delivered.
Nice. How many blocks are there? Like thousands.
Like 1,800.
Wow.
1,800 blocks. Because I was like, because we got there, Jason's mom said his dad wanted to lay 100 blocks yesterday.
100 out of 118.
So I said, Jason, well, how many are there? Because I'm thinking, okay, if it does 100 a day, like at least if it breaks it down, like it's not overwhelming,
Right.
So that's when I said, okay, it would take about 18 days. And he says, yeah, but if, Jason's legs can feel better, and then he can take off work, they can probably knock out like 400 or 500 in a day. So, but apparently, like once you mix the mud, it lays like 75 blocks. So that's why you want to. Once you mix it, you got to use it.
And they got to pick them up by hand.
Yeah, they did good, and Reagan helped for a second.
I would think those are heavy.
Yeah, it's a cinder block. So however much a cinder block weighs, but I guess you do the corners first, and that's her helping out.
Oh my gosh!
But you do the corners first, and then, but it's pretty exciting, like to get to this process. So,
right.
We're using the concrete slab as our floors in the house. So we bought this board stuff that covers them to protect them, because when you're laying blocks, the mud might be slinging or whatever. And so, and then when everything's done, we'll get in and seal the concrete, yada yada. So
seal the concrete in the floors.
Yeah, seal the concrete so that they're going to be used, so you can wash them and no issue, whatever. So Jason's all like, to seal them, like the company charged like $2,500. Okay, fine. So then we're looking at maybe getting them polished, like, because it takes that first layer off. Because there was like a spot over in Gavin's room where like concrete from the porch, when it was poured, kind of splattered in there. So we kind of grind that down or whatever. And then you don't have to worry so much if something happens to the concrete right now, because it's going to grind it or whatever.
Right.
So it looks like this board is called Ram board, I think, that put down, like, it's like a really thick, like a cardboard almost. Well, it's waterproof just to protect it. Well, I don't know, like the color from the cardboard is on the porch. We can see it, like it's run down to the porch. Now is it stained? I don't know. Well, this board didn't really serve its purpose. I think it'll come off. Like Jason was rubbing it like on the front porch, and it looked like it was gonna come off.
Get her Mr. Clean.
Yeah, exactly. It takes everything away.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
And so Jason's been looking at the cost to like grind it and polish it. Girl, $8,500.
Are you serious?
I told Jason,
to grind it and polish?
I'm not paying $8,500.
Let's put it in perspective. That's almost $10,000.
Yeah, to polish concrete floors. I could put real floors down for $8,500
easily.
Like,
who does that? Is it like a local company?
Yeah, there's a few of them.
Wow.
$8,500. I was like, I don't know. It better come with the material they're laying down as well. You put tile down for that.
Just to polish and grind it?
I was like, I don't know. So they buy like the polisher. You can rent it. It's like $200 and something bucks for a day. I told Jason, I said, this is what we're gonna do. Y'all are gonna rent that. Try it out. okay?
Right.
If we can't do it that way, then we'll figure out the next thing or whatever it might be. But I'm not signing off on $8,500.
I just think that's ridiculous.
Oh my God. I was just like, Jason's mom is like, I think we'll be fine. These guys, they know how to run the equipment. It's not like they're never run equipment before or something. I'm like, I'm not paying that.
That's ridiculous. Just go hire one of the guys from Walmart. They ride around in those little things. Get one of those.
What I think it is that like it's become like this chic different thing, and so people higher end people are like, oh my God, it's my minimalistic. I'm gonna have concrete floors. Like I've done it to save money.
Right.
And if this is how I'm not saving any money, and I'm no way.
Oh no, they're definitely because they are become like the new thing, right? Because you can do designs in them, and you can do all this epoxy, and you can get really creative with it. And you're probably right. The companies have kind of increased because they think that they're now servicing a higher clientele.
Right.
So then they can charge more. Because let's be realistic. If it's $200 a day, and it maybe takes you 3 or 4 days, let's just say at the max 4 days to do that job, that's $800 for the machine, right?
Yeah, and it shouldn't.
And it must be just a chemical that you grind it and
then
you polish it.
So what you do when you grind it is essentially you take the top layer off.
Okay.
So that's what makes it really smooth. You take off that little bit of the top layer and whatnot.
Well, that's just like a sander almost.
Yes, like a big sander. Yeah. And so it wouldn't take that long. I told them let's get this done, and then because right now there's nothing in the way, right? There's no walls.
Right.
I mean, obviously the outside walls will be in.
Right.
But there's no interior one, so it shouldn't take more than a day.
Right.
To see if this is going to work.
Right.
To rent it for $250.
Yeah,
so,
I think that would be the way to go. I just can't believe they charge for that. That's insane.
Oh my God.
We're the wrong business.
I told Jason, I was like, listen, because there was one quote he got for $4,500 to do something. I don't know what it was. And I said, for $4,500, you can get your outside generator. What do you want? What is more important? And this is me who is Jason always says, I'll build it, you make it pretty, right? And so I'm on the design aspect if you put it in HGTV terms, but and I'm like, no, I'd rather have a whole house generator than worry about my floors looking like that.
Throw down some rugs.
Exactly.
Call it a day. You know me, I like rugs.
Exactly.
I'll buy you rugs. I'll come be like, I'm in charge. I'm rug patrol.
Exactly.
I will be the decor lady for the rugs.
Exactly.
I'm gonna Rug Central. I will have my best shopping experience ever.
Exactly.
Wow.
So that's that. I was, oh gosh, and I mean, I'm always big on the budget. I want things to look good and everything, but I'm not spending that. I refuse. The tile that we got for the master shower and Gavin's shower is a floor tile. It's
okay.
Wood. It's a wood tile that looks like wood. I got it for 80 cents a square foot. I told Jason, I'll get it for the whole house.
All right, no doubt.
I said, yeah, I get that it would be $2,500, say, in tile, and I got to pay someone to lay it down. But at least I have a material on the floor by the time I'm done.
Exactly.
Versus it's still concrete.
No way.
And what if I go to sell it and someone doesn't like concrete? They got to pay $10,000 for flooring in.
Exactly.
No.
That makes no sense.
Yeah, I was just. So that's things that happen. But no, we're super excited. So we're getting there.
Do you have an end date? Do you know what date you think it's going to be finalized?
We just ordered our. Well, we went to ordering our windows. They changed something, so we're waiting for the bid to come in to sign off and make the deposit. 8 to 10 week lead time on the windows.
I believe that. The impact windows? Yeah. I've
So
heard that.
That's
somebody
definitely going to be hold us up on some stuff because you can't build out the inside without being sealed off.
Yeah, I heard that. Somebody told me about that. They were because I don't know because of the time of year. I don't know what it is.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But so the windows are really cool. We're excited about them. They're they slide this way.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
so they're not this way, but they're this way.
Which is really great for this podcast. They slide this way and not that way. So they
slide
side to side,
horizontal versus
sliders,
vertical.
Yes,
okay.
Versus a single hung.
Very cool.
There's 2 single hungs in the whole house, but most of them are these. And then the back door is a collapsible slider.
Okay.
It's like a collapsible door, I guess. It's pretty cool.
There was one of the houses we saw. They had the way that because it was kind of in the back with the pool, some of the doors were sliders, but they beveled in, or I guess they went in, so you can open up the whole house.
Well, at our old house, it was like that. So it went it collapsed into the side of the house, right? So it opened up the whole opening. Well, we were originally going to do this, but the way the house is laid out, I don't think it was going to be an option. But I found this door that I really like. That you literally, it's a whole glass door, has 3 panels on it. One panel opens up like a French door that stays open, and the other 2 panels literally they slide down.
Okay.
It's hard to explain. It's like a accordion door.
Okay.
And
All
so
right.
they close like that and then slides down so it creates the whole opening.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Very cool.
It was expensive. But I was able to get a lot of savings on my front door by going with a different front door that I actually wanted instead of the one in the price.
Okay.
And that offset, and I was able to get the back door I wanted.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
The funds of the joys of building.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And then it's like, okay, what kind of color hardware do you want? And it's a big decision.
There's a lot of decision.
And they're like, it's a white door, and the windows too. Do you want the white windows? And like now, like everything trendy is like a black window.
A black window?
People put black windows in
Instead of white windows?
Yes, and because that whole like black and white contrast, like it's all over HGTV, right?
Well, I must be out of the loop.
But here's my thing: is I didn't want to spend $20,000 on a trend. What happens 10 years from now when black windows are out?
Right.
I figured white was the best way to go.
Yeah, because you know what? I look at like some of these houses that I've seen like built in 1968. Like they're definitely outdated, but like something that was built like I would say in the 90s, it's like it's doable. You know what I mean? Or it's like the trend has come back or whatever it is. So you're right. So you might as well go with something that's more attractive for someone overall, not just based on a trend.
Right now,
like
exactly.
colors and stuff like that. You got to be careful of too.
So then it was like, it's a white door. Do you want a white handle? And I'm like, well, no, the rest of the handles in the house are going to be like bronze. So he's like, well, everyone usually. I was like, so we went with bronze. I told Jason, I said, if we don't like it, we just reorder the hardware.
Right.
Not reorder the whole door. You know. I'm like, but I didn't like the white handle. It looked like kind of hokey.
Yeah.
I didn't like it at all. When
white
we saw
on
it.
white? I wouldn't think so either.
And it didn't look right. It was like, I was like, this isn't going to look right. So I said, let's just do it that way. If it doesn't look right when we get it in, then we just, whatever, I pay a few $100s and we reorder it. But, you know.
I am a visual person, so it would be hard for me to visualize that, like, to articulate it. I have to actually see it in play to be able to understand it.
Right.
So once you see it all and you've got it together, then you might be able to say, well, that doesn't look right, or maybe I like it. You know,
or like we can live with it for like 6 months or a year.
Yes.
Whatever. We'll have to live with it until we had to sell it.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
then it's like, okay, now we better change it.
Yeah, and let those people change it, you know?
Exactly.
Don't even be worried about it.
Oh, man, I tell you. Okay, so you know we talked about the Nordstrom sale that I love. I was talking about my pants I have on. They're super comfy that I got from there. Well, I got this bra. I've heard about this bra a lot on like influencers and stuff on Instagram. So I bought it's a True company bra, and it fits like a dream. Like, oh my god! Like you don't even realize you have like a bra on. It's very very comfortable.
Called the True company.
True. Yep.
TRU.
TRUE. Like straight up True. Okay. So, like it's super super comfortable. Like it's.
Oh, it looks comfortable.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So I ordered it, and they sold out of like everything. Only one I could order was this one kind that they had, and it's like a lot thicker of a strap. Anyway, it was so comfortable. I was like, okay, cool. I'm glad I got it on sale, so that I know that I like it. So when they come back in stock, I'll pay full price. Full price is like $40, which is still cheap for a bra.
Yeah, because Victoria's Secret's like 50 and up.
Exactly. And so I was like, cool. And so I keep looking to see if the ones that I want come back into the sale, because Nordstrom will do that. They'll get more inventory and they'll be available, and they're not. I was like, let me just see if I can buy them from somewhere else. Let me tell you what, Target sells them.
Really?
Cheaper, full price at Target than I paid on the Nordstrom sale. I got had.
Oh my gosh!
I got the hype.
Because you bought from Nordstrom.
I got in the hype.
You got the hype because you bought
the
from
anniversary
Nordstrom.
Sale.
Yep.
So this is the one I got from Target. So it's like a different strap. The one I got was like it's like a almost I don't know, but they don't have like clamps in the back. Like they're all the way through.
Okay.
And they come in big sizes too. Like I got them in a large because still breastfeeding, everything's big still. But highly recommend them.
I'll have to check it out.
Tell you what, it was like $28 at Target.
Oh, I can't believe that.
I bought 2 of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's the Nordstroms for you though.
It got me.
They did get you. I mean, you find that sometimes though, you know. I mean, they think because they have like exclusivity to something, and then you come to find out you find it somewhere else. I mean, crazy enough is like even Amazon. I mean, they have stuff that I would see at the stores, like that Neutrogena. Taylor uses a special rain body, and I know that only BJ's had it in a certain kind, and it's like she would go to the ends of the earth to find it. Amazon, and they had it in a 2-pack.
Nice.
You know, it's like sometimes if you just think that but you didn't know because you had never bought it before, you know, so you were just trying it out, you know, when you saw it on Nordstrom's, but now you know.
Yeah, and it was well worth it. I will tell you that this, and then I got some panties there that I tried out. So, and they're called Hanky Pankies.
Oh.
Yeah, and I was like, all right, they're kind of expensive on the sale. They're like $16 for one pair, you know, because underwear aren't cheap. And so I bought them. I thought, let me just try them out, you know. And I bought this other pair too, this other company. Man, them hanky-pankies, they didn't move. They were comfortable. They were perfect. Like, well worth it. The other pair I wore Friday night. Oh my God, they were awful.
Well, I don't wear panties.
I know. I guess
unless I wear a dress.
I had a dress on Friday night, and it was just like, I couldn't wait to get them off. And that was like, man.
I spent all this money for these panties, and now they're uncomfortable.
Exactly.
I have like 2 pairs.
Okay.
And I probably need to get more because 2 pairs over the course of 5 years is really 1 pair. 1 good pair. So I do need to invest and get some panties.
Good thing you had them on that day of Shannon's birthday.
Oh, I know. That was one of my good pairs.
Yes.
It's, not really one of my good pairs, but yeah. Oh, God. Such a hot mess. We're actually going James, I love James to death, but he knows how I'm getting sick of the camper.
Yes.
To the verge of getting divorced. I say it multiple times. Just joking. Love you. However, I am at my wit's end, working in it, living in it, breathing in it, whatever. Now I get to go back to cleaning it today. He said to me, because we got hit up with some friends saying they're going to go to the dockside in Fort Pierce for Labor Day weekend, overnight. And they're taking their boats and stuff. Well, listen, okay, you know me and boats. Like, I could care less. Like, and James like, we can ride jet skis. I'm like, I don't care about jet skis. In the ocean, I'm not, you know. And because he doesn't know we were going to bring the boat. So when we got asked initially, I was like, no, we can't because we have nowhere to put the dogs. And typically we would have James's sister come over and stay. But in the camper with the 2 dogs, it's just not feasible. It just, there's no yard, and so it just doesn't make, it's not good sense. So James said, all right, you got to get out of the camper. So he called me the other day, and he was like, or he texted me, he was like, all right, we're going away. I'm gonna plan something for you. I said, okay. So then he texted me, he's like, all right, I got rid of the dogs. Go make the reservation. I'm like, wait a minute, you said you were supposed to be the one to do it. So of course I called and got the reservation.
Well, but he probably makes him uncomfortable.
So then I said to him last time, he's like, at least I got a place for the dogs where his mom and dad are. And I was like, I said, you know what, you really didn't do it because I had to call and still make the reservation. He goes, well, you know how to do stuff like that. I'm like, you could just call up there and give them the credit card. It's fine. He goes, well, what name did you put it under? I said, under Kim Deckard.
Oh, God.
He said, because everything is like, sometimes my old credit cards and things, like even my Amazon comes under.
I told you that. I was getting baby presents. They were coming from Kim Deckard. And Jason was like, that's crazy. I was like, I wonder if she's still using Joe's Amazon account.
No. But for some reason, it still shows Kim Deckard. I mean, heck, we get mail. I get mail at Joe's house. Joe has gotten mail at me and James's house.
You know what's crazy is one time Jason got mail, and it was to Jason Gray.
That's so weird.
Could you imagine if James got James Deckard?
Slap in the face. That's hilarious.
You should get like a magazine mailed to your house for James Deckard.
Well, you asked me the other day what was my mailing address, and I'm like, I have a P.O. box. You're like, it's not going to work. Nobody honors a P.O. box.
No.
You have to have a physical address. And now that I'm not at Florida Days permanently,
yeah.
I don't know what Roadrunners is, and I got to call. That just is a hot mess. But anyway, so he said to me last night, I said, you know, you didn't even really book that. Like, that was on me. He goes, well, when you put the room under, I said, Kim Deckard. He goes, what? He goes, I got some stuff coming into that room. So he must be, and I'm like, well, you better look up Deckard. I'm like, why'd you have to tell me? I said, well, I guess I better call and change it to Prescott. Yeah, I put it under Prescott. I did, but I just was pulling his chain. just to mess with him. So we're gonna do that. So I'm super excited about that.
That's very cool.
So I think I think him and Ollie. I don't even care. Like, I just want to hang out by the pool. You know, I want to sit on a full size toilet. You know, I'm so excited about that. Like, you have no idea. You know, it's like that muscle memory. They think once you do something for 21 days, like your body or you just do it. So I have to tell you something so funny. So I was at Vero Beach at one of my offices the other day. And I went to the bathroom, and I literally took my foot and tried to stomp on the toilet to try to flush it. And then it dawned on me, the handle's on the tank. I said, I gotta get out. I can't believe that. Oh, God, isn't that sad?
I think the one thing that would probably bother me the most about living in the camper is that there's always that smell. Mm-hmm. That would bother me.
It's a smell like I have those little,
like the toilet smell.
Yeah, I have those little droplets that you can throw in there. Mm-hmm. Like I throw those in there, and then just the smell of, like, I have air fresheners, but you can't really use. I use Glade plugins. You can't really use them in there. And I'm like, totally smell.
And it's not it's not a bad smell. It's not like, oh, it smells bad, but it's that smell.
It's a musky smell. There's a muskiness to
it
because there's no installation, you know, and it's just wet. And you know, when you get, like, the shower gets wet, you know, it's just a wet dampness.
Yeah. I think that's probably the biggest thing about it. You know what it is? It's probably the wet dampness. I'll never forget the first time we went to Cherokee, and we got the cabin, and we got the cheaper cabin. There's no AC, there's no kitchen or no bathroom in it. It's just a cabin, right? Just where you sleep. And I'm like, I'm cool with that. I don't mind. Trust me, I'm not like high maintenance. Where like I don't mind walking to the wash house.
Right.
And you know, we're up in the mountains. It wasn't supposed to be like hot, and even like hot doesn't bother me that much. But it was so damp, I could not sleep.
Yeah.
And I was like, we got to do something, you know. So we ended up going into town and buying one of those portable AC units.
Yes.
Just running it just to get the dampness out. That was what was like. I was like, I never felt clean. Like I just was like, ugh.
Yes, and you're right. They have like some damp aids, some things that I have like.
We have them.
Yeah, that I put in the camper for that. But you're right. I mean, there is that. It's that just that, and it's funny because at the Roadrunner, when we're gonna be, they actually you guys have to come for the weekend.
Okay.
They have cabins you can rent.
We can bring my camper. We can
bring your
go.
camper.
We can just go up and camp for the weekend in our camper.
Yeah, you could, or they have little trailers you can rent. So
because we could bring this and come for the weekend and bring the kiddos.
Yeah, and they play at the pool. They got a basketball court and they got tennis. I might be taking up some tennis. No, I won't.
Oh, speaking of tennis, working out. How's your journey going?
So I went to the doctor Monday. Lost 5 pounds.
There you go. See.
But I don't know.
You're not following it, girl.
I'm not.
You owe me. I should have made the gift bigger.
You should have made me sign a contract.
We should have made the prize. Yeah, Louis Vuitton or the Gucci bag I won is what we should have done.
Yeah, you should have put me. Yeah, I just made bonus at work, so you should have definitely hit me up for that.
That should have been what the
well, what's our end date? It's 90 days. I think it was the end of October.
You put it in the phone. You better get on it.
Well, how are you down? How many are you down? Well, you don't eat.
I eat.
You're disciplined enough.
I am. I'm very disciplined. It's one thing in the world that I'm disciplined about is eating. On like when I start something, that's how I stay with that. But yeah, I weighed in at 142.5, so I'm down 10 pounds total.
You make me sick. It's because you got Grady breastfeeding. You're dropping that weight, that liquid. You're pumping that liquid gold out of your body.
I wish, but that's not why. I have to work at it. I will say that I do the intermittent fasting that we've discussed, you know, and then I do pretty well with keeping what I eat is pretty clean. But then I read that book that the doctor told me to read.
Yes.
Well, I started reading it.
Right.
I've only gotten to like chapter 3, and they taught like, what is the one thing that you think that people do when they eat to lose weight? Like they give up.
Carbs.
Exactly. So everything is protein rich. This book talks about that's not the way to do it. And I'm like, I don't even know if I know how to eat. If that's not the way, I got to keep reading it. But I think it's a lot about plant-based. It's called the China Study. It's the largest nutritional study ever done. For the longest period of time, it was done for 26 years.
Okay.
And then there are other studies happening at the same time. So the correlation between all the studies, including that one study, it's like 75 years of science built around this study. So they talked about how, like, you know, they talk about, like, nitrates are bad for you. They cause cancer and yada, yada. And so this guy, the scientist, was on a bunch of these studies. Yes, nitrates cause cancer. It is a known carcinogen. People freak out. I can't eat bologna anymore. No more hot dogs. No more bacon because they have added nitrates into those for color and stuff. Well, they had two rats studies. One that were given high levels. One were given moderate levels. And they both developed cancer. So he said, but based on the amounts they were given, even the moderate level, low level nitrates to those rats that got cancer, if your neighbor was going to poison you, you'd have to go to his house every single day for dinner and eat a 1 pound sandwich of bologna, 25 of those.
Wow.
Every day for like 2,000 years. It was something crazy like that. Like the numbers are not right, but it was something that astronomical that you could not possibly put that much in your body.
Couldn't consume that much.
Yeah, so is it a known carcinogen? Yes, it is. Is it you're going to get it from eating bologna? No.
Right.
I'm not saying that the book says to eat bologna because I haven't gotten that far.
I love some bologna. I mean, you know, that chicken bologna, that's my favorite.
So, but yeah, so I'm going to keep reading onto that to see. But no, I mean, when it comes to food, like, I do well. Like, I be like, nope, I'm not eating.
I just wish I had the willpower to say no.
You know.
And I've noticed even this morning I'm struggling with my stomach because, you know, my stomach problems. And I'm like, why do I keep doing that to myself? And I did actually last night. We went to this Italian restaurant. I purposely was going to get like lasagna or get chicken parmesan. I was like, no, let me go for the salad. Mm-hmm. So I went for the salad, but then I went for the ranch. And because of my IBS, now my stomach's tore up. So like, well, I'm trying to make a good decision.
Right.
And I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to go. And I had a piece of Sicilian pizza. But,
maybe it's the pizza that did it, not the ranch.
It could have been that too, but I just wish that I could get it through my head that when you're about to partake in what you're about to eat, Kim, because you have no limits,
right?
You're going to, in 2 hours from now, you're going to be sick.
Yeah.
You're going to be dying, and you like a full-size toilet.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you?
You know,
Get it through your head.
You could have got the pizza last night. Y'all could have got like a thin crust pizza. Like the Sicilian's like the worst one you can get.
Well, that's why he was like, well, it's been so long since I've had Sicilian. I'm like, well, you've worked so hard. Like, you know, we're like sitting here.
It's okay. You're talking yourself into it.
We're talking ourselves into it, you know.
Gotcha.
We shouldn't have done that. Don't mind the chicken wings that we had before, the fried chicken wings.
I hear you.
But you're right. I mean,
we do that with buying stuff. Jason and I do. Like, so my thing may not be food, but I do love to shop, and like I love to buy things for other people, like, and so like in the Nordstrom sale, Jason ended up with 3 pairs of shoes,
right?
You know, and it's like I find satisfaction. I love to go grocery shopping because I love to shop, so at least it's like my family gets to eat, you know.
Yeah.
Like,
I wish I had that drive.
But the food part of it, like I'm the kind of person. I remember after I had Gavin, I had that gazelle thing that you got. I remember that Tony Little, is that his name? And like you got on that thing, you're like, woo, 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 woo. So I would get on that in the morning. Woo, 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 woo. It would count my calories. Probably wrong, but whatever. Said I had burned like 300 calories or whatever. That was what I decided I could eat for the day because that's what I just burned off.
Well, you know, that's how that app works, the MyFitness app. Mm-hmm. You put in what it gives you how many calories you'll have for the day, and then you put in back your exercise, and it gives you back calories.
Yeah, my MyFitnessPal, that's what I do. It gives them back to me. But I would go with, I could only eat what I had burned because I figured my body was going to burn the rest of the bad calories, the bad fat that I already accumulated, and I'm going to and so like I would eat those lean cuisine, low carbs, like I'd have one a day.
Really? Mm-hmm. God, I just need to I don't know. I just I got to hit rock bottom, like they say, like drug dealers, you know?
Yeah.
Or not drug dealers. They don't ever hit rock bottom. Drug addicts.
Yes.
I need to get to that point because where those moments I've had gotten to those points in my life, I did do something about it. You know, I did mentally say to myself and say, don't do that, you know, or get out of there. Or, you know, I would do that. You know, food was my enemy, and I looked at it like that. Food
is my control. So in a world that nothing I can control, these are things that that's like the word spoken of like someone with an eating disorder, clearly, you know, but that's
it's true. Yeah.
That's what I can control. I can't control what's happening anywhere else in this world, but I can control what I put in my mouth, good or bad. I could be binging or whatever. Most of the time, I don't usually ever binge. But, you know, so.
Yeah. I always like to go to the bad food, so I just have to really think to myself, what's this going to do to you? Well, you have to give me some more, let me know about that book, because I told you I had read a book similar to that, and James and I took like our body type, because it's all dependent on your body type, and some people should eat red meat, should not, because of just like for what it does. And so, I mean, there's some truth. There is a lot of truth to the medicine side of it.
For body type, because like when I did my DNA testing, it told me that based on like my DNA or whatever, that my on the lower side for weight. Like I shouldn't have like in that. So it's easy for me to be like, okay, well I've lost 10 pounds, but genetically I'm prepared for that. My body's prepared for that, right? So like you know, I don't have big people in my family. Like that's just who we are. Okay, so genetics play a huge part of it. Like
huge.
I don't see I'll be hopefully at some point down to like 128 pounds. Okay, there's some people in the world that's not even ever going to be possible
ever
for
me.
them,
Ever.
you know?
It's just on my DNA. Like I always thought, but I always said that because I could put my finger around my wrist. And I had small wrists, so I remember like I don't know, probably when I was like 8 or 9 years old, somebody's like said, depending on your wrist is your bone structure, like how much weight your body can actually take on or hold. And I'm like, but I got small wrists. I'm meant to be skinny. And I'm like, I've got small hands. I'm meant to be skinny. Like that was always my thought. But you're right, because I look back in my family, not my mom. And my sister's has not really struggled. I mean, she's doing good because when she's was when she's gotten pregnant and stuff. But my grandmother struggles. Like there's my family members. I think my dad at one point in his life has struggled. So there's definitely a truth to the DNA. But then you have to be so mindful of that. Where you have to be mindful what you put in your mouth anyways. But then knowing what certain triggers like where meat can protein is good meat. So you would think, but then maybe your body type rejects it, and you have inflammation going on.
Right.
I think there is a lot of inflammation, and that's what causes people to blow up, right? Because their insides are irritated, and so maybe raspberries are really good for you, but not for me.
Right.
And I've said this before, and I need to look back into it again because there is actually a blood test that they do. It's like a food genetics or something. They can actually tell you based on your blood what internal reactions or allergies you have to food that are not going to necessarily make you break out,
right,
but it's just going to cause inflammation.
Right.
And that's what I need to do, because I know what I should stay away from, but I do it anyway, so maybe it wouldn't work because I get stomach aches.
It may be because you're such a planner and such a thing. Like, you should probably write these things down, right?
I need to.
Write it down. Because yes, cheese. Probably shouldn't do it, right? But you should write it down and be like, these are the things that I know when I eat it, I have a problem with, okay? Then find another alternative of these things don't bother me. And they don't have to be boring, like, healthy foods. They could still be unhealthy foods. Like, you'd be like, I eat tacos and I don't have to put the cheese on it, and I don't have a problem with tacos. Like, I still have tacos. You
almost
know?
like a food diary, to kind of almost, because there's things throughout the day that I'll healthfully think or do right, and then it still affects me. And I'm like, what did I have? Well, I had chicken. Well, then how did I prepare that chicken?
Right.
You know, was it the processed chicken from Purdue,
right,
which is in the bag, or was it the one I grilled?
Right.
Because I have both. You
Okay.
know, so I really need to like narrow it down, and like you said, know what's affecting me, because I feel like crap and it just sucks. It really limits your life sometimes. Like, I almost didn't go out Friday night because it was bad, but I'm like, I just had a chicken sandwich, but it was probably the cheese and the mayo that I put on it. I know.
Well, my sister's doing like an elimination diet, so she went to the dietitian because she has like inflammation in her internally as well, and so she's trying to find out the triggers. And when you're just eating foods, it's really hard to find out triggers. So this is a diet you start with basics, and then you introduce, and that's when you start to see what is it that's really bothering me, right? So you're like you said, you don't know, is it the Purdue chicken or the regular chicken? So you start with only the chicken you cook at home, week 1 or whatever it is. They have a whole plan. So once she's done with it, you should
get it from her.
Because she went to the dietitian. But side effect of it for her is weight loss. My sister doesn't need to lose any weight.
I can handle it.
But, you know, I mean, it might be something because you are so regimented. When somebody's telling you this is what you're allowed to eat this week, that was something you could do.
I could do.
You know?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I definitely need to kind of like cycle back and look and see, because I think there has a lot to do with it. You know, and it just, when you're bloated and you feel like that, you just feel like crap, and then you know what, you eat again. Then I'll eat again.
I'll tell you what. So I like, for the most part, I'm usually like fine, but if I start to get backed up, my body's response is just to eat more.
Yeah.
And it's so weird because you would think your body would be like, no, we can't handle this. Like, you know, we haven't, you know, gone to the restroom in 3 days or whatever. But no, for me, like, my body's like, no, just keep. It must be like, keep going. We gotta get this flushed through.
I think that's so. I think it's like talking to because your belly. When I read in that book, your belly and your brain. Your belly tells your brain what to do. Believe it or not, you think your brain tells you. It's like your belly actually tells your brain what to do. And I'm like, and it's probably trying to push out the toxins. So it gets them. It's like when you're dehydrated, get water. You know, it's like telling you to get it out of your system. So there is some truth. It's crazy how the medicine and the makeup of your body, rather than not necessarily fad diets, but, you know, just knowing what the composition of your body and like how it breaks down, and what foods have been successful in, you know, curing or helping or doing it. Because there's a lot. There definitely. I mean, you think about cavemen, you know, and how they ate. I mean, you know, a lot of in the book that I read, it actually cavemen they somehow get this bad rap that they were like going around killing buffalo. They were really eating plant based. They were really eating off the land.
Well, that's all they knew.
That's all they had.
I mean, like, and they had to go kill. Like, what are they going to do with it? Because they have no way to preserve it. That's why they would have never done that.
Exactly. So there's a lot of like they weren't, you know, they were strong, they were healthy, but they were, you know, living off land. So there's a lot to go back to your roots. And see what actually took place.
So I think for me too, like the diet, like that would be easier in my own house, you know, my own kitchen.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know, same with you.
Oh yeah,
out
because
of the camper.
like I can't even buy BOGOs, you know, and not that I need to buy BOGOs, because BOGOs like is the like chips. But you're right, like when I'm not in my routine, you know, it's like easier to, you know, whether I've been getting better. Like I've been doing crock pot meals and things. Like I'm trying to,
Do you have an Instapot?
No, yes, and I hate it.
Girl,
it whistles. I don't like. It sounds like a bomb's going on.
Well,
I got rid of it.
You got rid of it?
Well, I tried to throw it out in the garbage, and James put it in storage. I found it in the storage unit the other day. I'm like, what is that thing doing here? I thought I threw it away.
Well, like, I had chicken breast, and I knew we had some salsa like in the fridge. I was like, okay, because I've made like chicken salsa before, like in this thing. And I was like, well, so I googled like chicken salsa Instapot. So it gives me this recipe. I took 6 frozen chicken breasts.
Threw them in there.
Put taco seasoning on the outside of them, put them in there, salsa and chicken stock. 25 minutes later, they were done. I took them and I shredded them.
Yeah.
You know how many meals we got with that?
I know.
Like, if we had kept them in breast, everybody would have gotten a breast or whatever and ate it.
Yeah.
I shredded it. We all ate that night. We had taco bowls frozen. We had taco bowls the following week. And then, I mean, Jason and I had lunch for like 4 days with it.
Yeah.
Like, it was so much. It was so easy. And
it's
then,
really easy.
Yeah, they shredded it, and the taco bowls were amazing. I made them, like, I took, like, whole grain rice, peppers and onions, the chicken, salsa, corn, like, anything you had, like, it's kind of like going Chipotle, you know?
Right.
And, it was really good. Oh, beans. It was really good.
Huh. I know I made the chicken salsa in the crock pot before, so that's something I've got on my list. I gotta go to the grocery store.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you could do it in the crock pot.
But
it was just, I mean, I went
Yeah.
from frozen to dinner.
I know.
I mean, I will say, because my sister's like, I don't believe you.
Oh,
She's
Instapot,
she's
yeah.
like, call me and let me know. And I said, so it takes like 20 minutes to get up to pressure.
Right.
And then it was 25 minutes of cooking.
Right.
Okay. And it was, you could either natural release or you could quick release. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
And I was like, so technically 45 minutes from the time I put them in till the time I took them out, they were done.
Just scares me, my Instapot. I wanted one, and then I got one for Christmas, and it scares the bejeebies out of me because it whistles, and it just makes me think it's going to blow up. And I
like, it whistles where it cooks.
Yes.
Oh.
Girl, it was going off so bad. I told James, like, I was freaking out. I started having an anxiety attack. I had to go sit outside while I cooked. James was like, it's fine. He had to sit. I had him position himself in a house so where he could see it where it was counting down, so it would tell me because it counts down.
Right.
And he could tell me when it's almost over. So I come back in the house. Like, and I said, you have to watch it, make sure it doesn't blow up. I don't know why.
Ours doesn't whistle, so maybe you got a bad one.
Like, I thought, you know, and then crazy enough is this is true though, but the bombings, like the Boston bombings, he used pressure cookers.
Yeah.
And my mom, I think my mom had one growing up, like she would make rice in or something, and I think I was always scared of that thing. So, like, for whatever reason, we made peanuts, we made something else, that was it. I said, when we moved, I put that out by the garbage, and then I was like, I'm getting rid of this thing. I felt bad, I wanted it, but it scares me. And then James put it back at the dang
storage.
Anything I throw out, he brings back. Everything I would go out to throw out the garbage. Thanks God, like, he can't get in the dumpster at the Florida days. But at the house, I would bring it out because I'll throw away stuff. I'll just purge, like,
right.
I'll throw out a couch. I don't care. And it always makes its way back. So I bought this. I love hydrangeas, and I tried to bring this hydrangea back to life. And I was like, I threw it out, and he brought it back to life. And I kept throwing it out there. It was, oh, it's hilarious. But yeah, but I mean, I would love to because I love that idea because I need something like that because that's why I do the crock pot, right? Especially when you're working all day and just, you know, it's easy to throw it there in the morning and then just let it go, you know. But I made some pork chops, so I try to use that a little bit more. Mm-hmm. But I like the Publix off 76. I'm gonna go there when I leave here today.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm just getting stale with my Publix, but I went in there today when I got your flowers, and I like the way it's laid out.
Yeah, I see that. I like that. That used to be our Publix.
Okay.
And the Publix here on whatever it is.
Closer to the post office?
Yes.
Okay, what is that? Map? Not Map.
Well, it's on Map. Yeah.
Citrus?
Map and Map.
I know what you're
Martin
talking.
Highway.
Okay.
It's set up exactly the same way.
Is it?
Because the Martin Downs one here in town, that used to be my Publix when I lived across the street. And I never liked it. And, like, well, you walk in, you get, like, past, like, the deli, and the meat department's, like, in the weird back corner. Like,
yeah.
So bizarre. I didn't like it. And then dairy was all the way around the back. It was so weird. So when I moved in with Jason and went to the Salerno Publix there, it was nice. And thank God this one is set up the same way. Because I don't have to remember anything.
Well, the one in Cove Road, which is closer to me, that one was old, and then they redid it. But still, even then, that one. But when I walked in that, I'm like, I feel like I'm going shopping somewhere new.
Yeah.
I'm, like, excited.
Exactly.
Because I just, they even, like, I don't think Publix is somewhere different, like, you know, how they have it laid out, and maybe it's based on the, you know, demographics. Like, the one in Vero, love that one. They actually have a full-on hot bar.
Oh, yeah.
And a salad bar. But the demographics up there is more elderly, so it's probably just when people are making one meal.
Right.
But that Publix is pretty cool. And they have an entire, like, takeout section. Like, it's an entire row. I mean, it's insane, what they have there. So
that's nice.
Yeah. So I'm excited about going to
Publix.
Going to Publix. Sprouts will be opening up soon.
Yep.
So that'll be
Still want a Trader Joe's.
I know. I read somewhere we were going to get a Trader Joe's and a Costco and something else, but everything because of Corona kind of got put on stop or whatever. It'd be nice to have a Trader Joe's because the one in Palm Beach Gardens is always packed.
Yes, and then Costco, because you know they got that Kirkland is their brand.
I like them hot dogs.
Yes, but their vodka, their Kirkland vodka, I've heard this from like multiple people, including one of my sisters. But she's like, no, that's what we buy. And I was like, no, I've heard it's really good, but we don't have a Costco. I'm not going to, I mean, it's cheaper for me to buy more expensive vodka than drive to Costco.
Right.
You know? So sister texted me. She said that her mom said the Sam's brand vodka is just as good as the Kirkland vodka.
Oh, yeah?
And I said, I have a Sam's membership.
Huh.
So
I have a Costco membership.
Oh, you do?
Mm-hmm. We'll have to go take a trip down to Costco.
Oh, my God. I'll be like girls' day. Like, I would love that. You know what I love about going to Costco?
Getting a hot dog.
Yes, getting a hot dog is just going into stuff that's not, like, the clothes.
Yeah.
And all that random stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That's my favorite part.
They don't have... I watched this whole documentary on Costco, and, like, they don't have anything marked on purpose because they want you as the consumer to walk down every aisle.
Oh, okay.
Like, you know how, like, Publix, like,
yeah.
you know, Walmart, they have, like, signs, this is where... And they change it. Like, every 3 or 4 months, they change it because they want where it's at.
Want you to go.
They want you to go and purposely walk down every aisle.
Makes sense.
They also said about their wine, like, all their private labels, like, their liquors and wines are very, like, sought after. Like, people, like, their buyers here fly, like, vineyards, like, private vineyards fly these folks over there because they want to just put the Kirkland name on there.
Nice.
They don't care about having, like, them being known. They just want that Costco, and I think their profit margin is, like, really slim because there's no wiggle room.
Right.
That's why you're getting a lot. That's why they offer it cheaper.
Right.
So, I mean, it's pretty. If you get a chance, watch the Costco documentary on Netflix. It's pretty cool. I found out some pretty cool stuff, and I mean how they just have everything set up.
Oh,
we'll plan a trip to Costco.
Yes, I'm excited. There's 2 places. We got to go to Costco
and Trader Joe's.
Trader
Joe's.
Yes, and then a different trip. I want to go to IKEA.
Okay. Oh, IKEA's fun.
Yes.
It's weird.
What we should do, we'll go IKEA closer to the house being done.
Okay, because that's in Fort Lauderdale. The thing is that with IKEA, you know that, like, everything's, like, tiny.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's not all tiny, like, but they have, like, good accessories and things like that.
Well, they do.
And shelving.
They do. But, it's made from, like, people from Sweden. It's originally Sweden. And they're tiny people.
Yeah.
Their couches are, like, this tiny.
Yeah, I'm not buying the couch.
It's an experience. Have you been to IKEA?
Yes,
okay.
yes.
Have you had their meatballs?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, the meatballs. Okay.
Yes,
It's a different experience.
Yes.
I'm like, why is everything so tiny?
Yeah.
You know, I kept saying that. And me and Taylor, I think Ray went down there.
Yeah. But it's the same kind of experience as walking through Costco and you find stuff and you buy it, not because, like...
Yeah.
It's because it's $4.
But the scary thing about IKEA that I found when I went there is that you get the little ticket, right?
Yeah.
And so you get the ticket, and then you go to the very end, and you have all these tickets. These tickets you're giving out. But who knows what you bought in room 1?
Exactly.
You know, where it's such a, because normally I'll look at my cart and be like, I'm going to put that back.
I don't really need this.
I don't really need that.
Now you're like, here's all my stuff.
I could spend, here's all my tickets. The next thing you know, you had orange, because I'm not creative like that, so I'll just like, and I'll buy stuff and never put it up.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we'll buy for your house.
Exactly.
Yes, that'll be a fun trip too. And we'll go have the Swedish. We can bring the kids and do that.
Yep.
Grady will be sleeping, and Reagan and I will just have a heyday.
Or we'll just leave them at home.
Or we can leave them at home. Grady can come. He's chill.
Yeah, but that's a few months from now. He can,
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So we're gonna plan a trip to IKEA.
Yep.
And then we'll plan a trip, day trip to Costco.
Jason will be happy with Costco. I'll come home with all kinds of vodka. So.
Heck yeah. All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for joining us this week. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.